Hi, I just got back from watching the Digital Circus, the last act. And, well, it's a beautiful movie, but in what sense? Well, I'd say the thing that makes this movie so special, or, well, this episode, but I gotta be honest, you do get the best experience if you just watch the two episodes together, but well, this episode is so good. And that's because it accurately describes how humans feel in certain situations. This movie focuses on a few things. Those are acceptance of who one is, of just not giving up, and also of knowing that there are people there for you. I know, I gotta be honest, you'll get heavy spoilers from me. I just saw the movie, saw it day one, so yeah, still pretty damn burned into my mind. But, well, yeah, I gotta be honest. This is, if I just want to describe, like, the most accurate word to describe this movie is that it understands being human, how a human feels. Like, massive spoilers again, but Jags, well, he abstracts. And it just really isn't played like, oh, big cinematic thing. No, this movie handles it with letting go and accepting others are there for you and that some things just are going to happen. Yeah, Jax is gone and the Jax you know won't return. He'll stay abstracted, but they all have to deal with that. And I know how wild that's gonna sound, but the whole scene pretty accurately describes and shows how someone who I gotta stress how weird this sounds, but it pretty accurately describes or just presents how people would feel if somebody relatively close to them had killed themselves. I know. Sounds insane, right? How would I know? Well, sadly, I did have experience with that, which also makes this movie makes me feel so much more. I can see all of the intent of delivering these exact emotions, and yes, of course, that made me cry. Also, the voice acting, which, man, they cast for the dub I watched do a good job. And yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but there at a certain point in the movie, basically, we're a bit in. I keep saying movie, but well, Pomni goes to confront the abstracted Jax, and well, I know how that sounds because this sounds weird if you don't have the scene, but it looks pretty cool. Basically, Jax is standing at the end of a hallway. Palmy's got a gun. Yeah, I know. How could that be even? How could that make sense? Well, basically, abstracted Jax runs towards Pomni and she just shoots most of the lights to make it dark. That does kind of calm down the abstracted Jax, and the next thing is gonna sound very insane, because honestly it is, but Pomni enters Pomni enters Jack's body. Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever be saying something like this, but okay. Anyway, what follows is Pomni seeing how Jax feels about each of them. And there are just some more funny scenes, like Jax there is a whole lot of jokes here, which I won't spoil because they are honestly really, yeah, they crushed it. Like, the VA did a seriously good job, and wow, I'm just... Anyways, after Pomni has gone through a few of these rooms, she enters a room where she's met with every version of Jax. Jax, one of them, well, the maid one, says, hey, it's been pretty sad till now, and nobody wants to watch that, right? Or at least I think he said something like this. He's just making a meta joke. And, well, then they just start to disappear. And one of the Jacks, what's multiple Jacks? Would you say Jaxes? Anyway, one of them gives her a key, which she uses to enter a locked door. Basically going deeper into Jax's psyche, and you just learn a lot of stuff. You learn a lot about Jax's past. You learn how he feels. And I promise you, you will cry when he opens up to Ribbit and tells them about his past. Because honestly, dude, I had to cry too, so you will too. That's pretty fucking emotional. You can just call me a pussy if you think that's nothing, but hey. Yeah. Anyways, those flashbacks continue until she gets to Jax and then just hugs him. Shows them that even after all of this, she's still there for him. And that is just such good messaging. Like, you are never alone. There will always be someone there for you. And that is beautiful, honestly. You might be able to notice I'm not doing this with any script, which, yeah, a script would ruin a video like this. I wanted to express my honest thoughts, and I'm just gonna cut out some, well, breathing and, well, sounds, but hey. Yeah, anyways, they managed to kind of capture Jax after a while, because when Pomni and Jax hug, the abstracted form of Jax kind of runs into grenades. Yeah. It's only gonna make sense when you see it. But anyways, abstracted Jax kind of begins to explode, but not really, and then Pomni gets saved by the others. And is a bit glitched for a while. And you'd say, wait, you don't want to tell me that that's how the movie ends? No, it doesn't. Because guess who isn't dead? That's right, Kane. Kane does something, like, I really didn't expect it. First off, yeah, there's something, like, it's been at some people's mind, and honestly, it was a fury for a while that all of this was just a simulation with simulated minds. But hey, turns out that's the case. All of the people in the circus are just neural scans. But Kane finally learns how he treated them. He gets to find out things about himself, and in the end, kicks out the program he absorbed in the first place and lets it go. He accepts the situation. Jax also accepted his situation. You get where I'm going here, right? This movie is about acceptance, which is really cool if you consider which month this movie is released in, right? Right? Yeah, I gotta be honest, the pure quote unquote not straight people in my cinema had to be really high. Like, this was made for people like us, honestly. Anyways, oh my god, I just find it so cool that, yeah, Kane just accepts that he trapped them in here, that he did something wrong. And after he gains the knowledge of all those neural scans and finds out what happened to the real versions of all the characters, well, he returns to the circus, says, I know that most of you won't be able to forgive me for a while, but let me at least tell the truth. And then he shows all of them what their real selves are doing. That is crazy. Because, yeah, that's how the movie ends. That's how it ends. They literally do the thing from episode 1 again. They sit at a table, just have fun. Because the real selves are happy. They can be happy too, but they can be happy in the circus. That's how the movie ends, and while some may not like it, they're just accepting how their life is. Get it? This whole movie is about that. Accepting who you are, where you are, and how you're gonna deal with this. Yeah, it was a great movie, and yeah, still blowing my mind. It's just so beautiful. And, well, you're gonna lose your shit when you hear the outro music, because incredibly fitting. And I won't say more. You'll like it. You'll probably like it, unless you're LARPing or something. Like, honestly, the people I've seen in the cinema just had fun watching this movie. They enjoyed it. They cried when it got sad. They laughed when it got funny. And they just enjoyed it. And I do think that, yeah, this was great. And Goose managed to wrap up a story, which is, well, weird, but oh, man, I wouldn't have wanted the story to go any other way. Can you actually tell what happens in the movie based on my description? No. That's cool, right? You won't get spoiled, at least not for everything. Yeah, while the real selves of the characters get to meet each other in one scene where they all get on a bus. You don't get more. But hey, do you need more? No. Movie just ends. And I know, I do already know, people won't like that. Like, how could you end it like that? But I'm gonna say, dude, this is fine. Because this whole movie is about that. And it's not even a fucking movie, but it's all about accepting your situation. And that's so fucking cool. Anyways, that's all I want to say. I know I haven't made a lot of videos on the Amazing Digital Circus. Actually, this is my first one, but I just want to talk about this because this was beautiful. And yes, I do think that you do get something out of going to the movies seeing it, because there is a small perk you get. At the end of the movie, there is a QR code on screen, which, well, you get early access to the merch and you get it at a reduced price. So hey, I guess that's worth the about $15 you're paying for a ticket. So yeah, that's all. What a cool show, and what a weirdly good end. That's all I'm gonna say. Goodbye.